Mexican style rice, and I'm gonna heat up a little bit of oil. And the thing about Mexican rice is you're gonna toast it before you stew it, steam it, boil it, cook it. And that's what gives it that kind of like soft, flaky flavor. Now, what I've noticed in the past when I've made this is that you really can't add enough spices to this because it's just rice. And rice can be kind of boring sometimes. So you really want to kick it up a notch with some cumin, some cayenne, some garlic powder, just you know, a tiny bit of garlic powder, and you know, a little tiny bit of cayenne pepper. And what I'm doing now is just kind of mixing the rice around so that it gets coated with the oil, so that, you know, because, you know, you want oil in your rice. You want oily rice. When you go to a restaurant and they're like, what kind of rice you want? You got to say oily.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so the rice is pretty much toasted. You can kind of see some of the golden brown. It's looking like a little bit puffy almost. So that means that we're pretty much ready to start sauteing some onions with these. I'm going to use just a little bit because I have some plans for these other onions later. We're going to throw in our spices. And I'm just gonna let those onions saute a little bit. There's something about stir frying cayenne pepper that just really opens up your pores. So the next thing I'm gonna do is add some tomato sauce. Now, this tomato sauce is basically just tomato paste with some water because I don't feel like going to the store for tomato sauce and I always have tomato paste. So we're gonna put a good amount of that in there. I think it calls for half a cup in the recipe, but I don't follow recipes. So I'm just gonna kind of coat the rice in the tomato sauce before adding in my stock. I'm gonna bring this to a boil. Now that the broth is boiling, I'm gonna turn the heat down to low so that it's just a simmer. And then I'm gonna throw the cover on and give it a nice thumbs up. So I'm just getting the chicken prepped. Basically, I'm gonna be air frying these boneless, skinless chicken thighs. And once they're done, I'm going to cut them up and I'm going to put them in a mole sauce. Now, mole sauce, I don't really know how to describe it. I'm using my mom's mole to make this sauce. It's cocoa based. It's kind of spicy. I've only had it like a handful of times. You either love it or you hate it. Next, I'm going to pat down these chicken thighs so they don't come out all soggy and nasty. So I'm going to start to do my mom's mole, and it basically just has you heat a little bit of oil in a saucepan. So I'm going to wait for that to get hot, and then I'm going to add in a cup or so of this mole mix. And I just taste a little bit on my fingertip because it's weird. And it's like it tastes like hot chocolate with some onion powder and stuff in it, but you can't really describe it. It's very complex, it's very interesting. It's gonna make for a very savory, umami kind of thing going on. So as always, I'm doing about 4 things at once. It never works out in my favor, but we're gonna keep doing it. Little saucepan for the black beans. Basically, I'm just gonna put a little bit of onion in there. Black beans are very easy. I don't like to make them too complicated because they speak for themselves, you know? And I'm gonna add in the mole powder, and apparently it says saute before adding 2.5 cups of chicken stock. Well, you know what it smells like? It smells like a ginger snap cookie, and I'm really excited to make a burrito out of that.
Essentially, this is like toasting your spices.
Sounds good to me.
It's like waking them up.
It smells like chocolate in here. I'm going to add my thing and just let it kind of do its thing and simmer very low. Before those onions burn, I'm just gonna go ahead and add my black beans. You only need to rinse black beans when you're putting them in like salad or something. When you're making them on the stove like this, just dump them right in. Black beans are very easy on the stove. All you need is some salt, some black pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder, and you're good to go. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. I always try my rice because I want to make sure it's not undercooked or overcooked. And this is good, but I think I added a little bit too much cayenne. You know what? No, I didn't add too much cayenne pepper. You add as much spice as you want to this rice. You make it as ridiculous, as salty, as peppery. Doesn't matter. It actually is really good. Now I'm just sauteing some onion and bell pepper to throw in the burritos as well. Mole sauce is simmering. We're gonna put the chicken in and let it simmer with it. I'm basically coating the chicken in chocolate. This is gonna be very, very weird.